Hi Mama Artist! Today I'm going to show you how we're going to make a mask using recycled materials. Yes, that's right, we're going back to our recycling bin and finding some cool things that we can use to create some new art with. So in my recycling bin this morning I found a cereal box, pretty popular tasty breakfast thing, and what we can use this Boxboard, and that's what this Boxboard is, or that's what this cardboard is called. It's a thin boxboard. What we can do with this guy is take it apart, and we can just, well, actually we only need like a small piece to make our mask. Now if you'll notice, mine is not colored yet. I'll show you what it looks like at the very end. But you'll notice my mask has a couple of key items that I want you to think about while you're creating. A mask needs to have some sort of a head shape. Your mask should probably have some eyes. Your mask might have a nose. And consider what kind of a mouth or teeth or shape you're going to do for your mouth for your mask. You notice I've added some other shapes on my mask, highlighting some other details and features that our faces naturally have. So our faces naturally have cheeks, cheekbones. Sometimes we have little lines or marks underneath our eyes. And sometimes when we furrow our brow, if we're deep in thought, our forehead wrinkles. So think about, take a moment and actually go and look in the mirror, check out your face. Think about what features, what parts of your face you want to include in your mask. Now, if you want to, you can go ahead and draw a plan first, making sure to think about, okay, what kind of shape do I want for my mask? Do I want to go circular, make it nice and organic? Or do I want to do a geometric shape for my mask? Maybe I want to have a triangle mask with circle eyes and maybe a long rectangular mouth. It's looking kind of like a robot there. You could do some little squares for teeth even. Yeah. Or you can do an organic shape for your eyes. Maybe a geometric nose. Maybe a semicircle for a mouth. And then think about all the ways that you could maybe fill in these spaces with other shapes or patterns or details. Highlighting my cheeks with some squares. So if you want to, you can draw out a plan, or you can just dive right in and start cutting. So you can make your mask as big or as little as you want to. But what I like to start out with first is that basic head shape. So I know my head shape is going to be the biggest part. I'm going to take my piece of cereal box and cut it right in half. And then I can use my scissors and change my shape. So if I want, I can curve around. You can make your head shape as funky as you want it to be. You can make it as smooth and organic or angular and geometric. Save these little scrappy pieces. They might come in handy later for adding those smaller details. So that's my basic head shape. I can use this other piece, and I'm going to think about the other important parts of my mask. I'm going to think about my eyes. So I just cut off a chunk, and then I took that small chunk and cut it in half. Those could be eyes, but I want to change the shape of these to make them look a little more interesting. Now I am going to try to use my best scissor skills, and I'm going to make a really weird organic shape. Remember, organic shapes are shapes that they don't have a specific name. You know, I could call this a duck, and, you know, Joe might call it a paint splatter. And that's an organic shape. It's loosey-goosey, doesn't follow any rules. There's no angles, and who knows how many sides. And now for my other eyeball, I'm going to create some contrast, some difference. I'm going to make this one geometric. So I'm just kind of cutting it. Boom. Maybe I want it like that. Now notice how I'm not gluing anything yet either. I'm just cutting and putting it down because I might want to make some changes. I might want to edit my face. Now for noses, I'm going to include a nose on my mask. Remember, you don't have to, but you can if you want to. So I'm going to look and see how much space I have. Oh, it'd be fun to have a nose going that way. All right, so I'm going to take my piece of boxboard. I'm going to think about what kind of a shape I want for my nose. I'm going to just kind of cut it, put it down. There's a nose. And let's see, maybe for a mouth, got a little room here. He's going to have a little mouth, my mask. Yeah. So let's see, for my mouth, I'm going to do a curve. I'm just going to round all my corners. Boom. He's surprised. All right, so there's the basics of my face. Now, I could just glue these down and call it done, but I'm going to take it to the next level by adding more details. Now, you'll notice with this one that I made, I actually layered on top pieces of boxboard. So that's what I'm going to do now. I have my first layer down. Now I'm going to see all these little scrappy bits I have? I could totally use them for parts of my mask. I actually like what it would happen if I put them next to each other like that. And then maybe had another triangle right there. Oh, that one's just a little too big. So I'm going to take my scissors and cut it down. There. Now, you'll also probably notice that I am not putting my boxboard with the cereal box. I don't want to see this part of my boxboard. I want to just look at the brown because it helps me to see my mask a lot easier. All right, so there's that for my nose. What else could I add for my eyes? Maybe what I want to do is with my geometric eye, I'll put an organic circle. Maybe I should do that for this one. I'll put a geometric shape inside my organic shape. Yeah. Now I do want to add one more layer to my eyes. Almost like if you can think about it, like a pupil. So I'm just going to take some smaller pieces and go like that. Cool beans. Now I can keep adding to this. I can use my little scrappy pieces that I have. And, oh, that makes a nice cheek shape right there. I wonder if I could do that on the other side. So our faces naturally have some symmetry. They're the same on both sides. But you'll notice my mask, definitely not symmetrical. So I'm having a little bit of artistic freedom with my face, my mask creation. And so, but sometimes I do like to have a little bit of a suggestion of symmetry where it's the same on both sides. So I found a cheek triangle here. I'm going to put a cheek triangle over there. And I'm looking, and you know what? I think I'm going to change the size and shape of this nose. I think it's too big. So I'm just going to take it off, and I'm going to change the shape with my scissors. And I want you artists to know that you can also do that with your shapes too. You don't have to stay stuck with something. If you don't like it, change it. You have that power as an artist. All right. So after you're happy with what you have for your mask, use whatever you have hanging around for glue. You're going to carefully start gluing everything down. And this is kind of personal preference. You could take everything off and then start adding it on one layer at a time. Or you can just kind of go for it. Glue down your top layer, glue down your second layer. You might have to press and hold and count to 10, because sometimes this regular glue, it's not like super glue. It won't stick instantly. So you have to give it a little bit of contact time and a little bit of pressure sometimes when you are using some sort of a white glue or a glue stick like I'm using. So I'm just going to press and hold for a few seconds to let that glue work to stick. There. And so I would go ahead and go through all my little pieces, glue them down. You'll know you didn't glue it down if you pick it up and all your pieces fall off. So that's a good test. All right. And then the last thing to do is to color. And I'm back with my masks colored, painted, and decorated. So you can use whatever you have available at home to add color. You can use crayons. You can use, I found this really old tempera cakes. I'm pretty sure I used them when I was a little girl. They're so old, but guess what? They're still really great. So I used some tempera cake to paint on mine. If you have watercolor palette, the pan watercolors, you can feel free to use that too. You can use markers, colored pencils, color them however you want to. I went ahead and I colored each piece a solid color, and then I went back and I added a little bit of extra line design and some patterns just to make things a little more interesting. And you'll see I did a little echo line of white around the outside of all of my shapes for this mask. And I think they turned out super cool. They're super fun. And I can't wait to see what your masks look like. All right, artists, I'll see you later.